the body. I'm fine now that my heart has stopped pounding. I looked around the dusty room. It's been such a long time since I was here, but everything looks exactly like I remember. You spent a lot of time in the attic as a kid? Actually, I did. Kyle frowned. It's not like it sounds. I laid my head on Kyle's shoulder as I silently gave thanks for the friend who'd not only helped me through the past couple of months, but who had willingly and enthusiastically given up his own life to follow me across the country for the summer. Garrett didn't abuse me or anything. In fact, he was very nice to me despite the fact I was pretty horrible to him. Kyle wrapped his arm around my shoulder. I can't imagine you being horrible to anyone. Believe it. It was the summer after my grandmother passed away. My dad had a conference that he had to attend in Charleston, and he didn't want to leave me home alone with my grandpa since he already had his hands full running the resort. Normally, my grandmother took charge of me when my dad was away. But after her passing, Dad decided to bring me with him to Gull Island. I stayed with Garrett during the day while my dad went to meetings, although he did come back to the island each night. I was mad that I had to come on the trip when I really wanted to stay home. So I'm afraid I went out of my way to make everyone's life miserable, partly by sequestering myself in the attic and refusing to participate in any of the fun Garrett had planned for me. I guess I see where Ashley gets her angsty nature, Kyle teased. Very funny, I shot back, although I supposed Kyle had a point. I had behaved as badly this summer I'd spent on Gull Island as my sister Ashley had since we'd left Paradise Lake. Shouldn't the deputy be here by now? It hasn't been that long, and it's not like this is an emergency, Kyle answered. The man has been dead for quite some time, so a few more minutes won't matter. I wonder who he is. Buck Barnes, Doc said from behind us. I turned and looked at Doc, who had completed his investigation and was standing over the body. You know him? No. He had a business card in his shirt pocket. Business card? What sort of business was he in? Treasure hunting. Okay, that got my attention. Treasure hunting as in buried treasure? Doc shrugged. I suppose. The card has the type printed on a computer. It simply has the man's name printed under the words treasure hunter. There's a photo at the top and a small treasure chest in the corner, but that's it. The card doesn't even have a phone number or address. I wonder what a treasure hunter would be doing in Garrett's attic. I looked around the large room that was cluttered with discarded objects from generations past. It was obvious someone had been looking for something specific. Boxes had been upended to reveal the treasures that most likely only held value for the person who had stored them here. From where I'm standing, it looks like a lot of junk, Kyle said, mirroring my own thoughts. Discarded clothing, old photo albums, an abandoned cane, various knickknacks that would only have sentimental value. I suppose there could have been something of value that was found and removed by whoever killed the treasure hunter. I was about to respond when I heard a sound behind me. I turned to find a tall man with short dark hair dressed in a brown uniform standing in the doorway that led to the staircase. He frowned as he looked around the room, which had obviously been ransacked. My name is Deputy Savage. Are you T.J. Jensen? I am, I said. I see you solved the mystery of where Buck Barnes has been for the past 18 days. 18 days? Garrett had his stroke almost 6 weeks ago. Any idea what Buck Barnes was doing up here when Garrett wasn't even on the island? Deputy Savage seemed to ignore my question as he bent down to take a closer look at the body. He pulled on gloves before carefully turning the head to one side. He must have been satisfied, or perhaps dissatisfied, by what he found, because he stood back up, tugged off his gloves, and looked directly at me. When exactly did you arrive on the island? Just a couple of hours ago. When we arrived at the Turtle Cove Resort, we realized the front door had been left unlocked. Garrett had specifically told me that he'd locked the place up before he left, so we suspected there might have been a break-in. Kyle and I decided to look around while Doc and my grandpa helped my sisters unload the animals. When we came upstairs, we found the body. Kyle asked Doc to come up, and then he called you right away. The deputy looked at Doc. You're a doctor? Retired coroner. I see. The man turned back to me. Where are your sisters and your grandfather now? Walking the dogs. Deputy Savage made a couple of notes on the clipboard he carried. I'll need to verify with Garrett that you're authorized to be here. But given you have a key, I'll take your word for it for the time being. Thank you. I have a number for the rehab facility Garrett was moved to. I can get it if you'd like. I'll get it.